Hi there, Martha Masharia here. I pray that you are doing well. So I was actually seated here wondering, what do I share? Out of the many lessons that I've not only learned in the past from scripture, but even the lessons that I learn. Because when you read the Bible, I'm telling you, lessons from God never end. There is no end. And so nobody has it. Nobody says, I know everything in the Bible. There's nobody like that. So from all the lessons that I have learned, which I enjoy reading scripture, so I was sitting here wondering, what do I teach? And or rather, how do I encourage you? How do I, because I love teaching on just Christian living, your daily living and your daily walk. To me, I love teaching on that. So I was going to, I decided to talk about Joshua and the children of Israel. Now, Joshua is directed by God that they need to camp in front of. They are camping at a place where they can see the Jordan, because within a certain number of days they are going to cross the Jordan. So the Jordan at this time of the year, it's actually overflowing. It's overflowing its banks. So where they are camping, it's not like they cannot see the Jordan is overflowing its banks. They actually can. And so they are looking at that. But every time I think about leadership, Joshua himself has to be at a place where he believes God can do, will help them to go pass through that Jordan. And it's very important, for leaders, whoever you are, wherever you are, leadership of your family, because husbands or wives are leaders of their family, leadership in whatever capacity, role, whatever it is you are. It's very important to believe in God, that God can do whatever it is that he says he can do, because then you affect everybody else who's behind you. So anyway, so Joshua, they are looking at this what is it called, Jordan, and it is overflowing its banks. So Joshua tells the people, tomorrow consecrate yourselves, for we are gonna cross the Jordan. It's still overflowing. The Jordan has not stopped overflowing just because Joshua spoke. No, God has a way of doing things. Now, let me say this, because this is the main message here. Fear, faith over fear. I know I've had that said many times, but faith over fear. Fear causes you to retreat. So when they looked at the Jordan, fear would have caused them to just go back and retreat. If you remember, for those of you who read scripture, and for those of you who may not know, when Moses sends Joshua and Caleb to go and spy Canaan, the land that God was going to give them, the land that had milk and honey, there were also giants in there. And Joshua and Caleb and the 10 spies who go, so they are all 12, 10 of them come and say there are giants. We look like, in fact, we are grasshoppers in front of these giants. Now, that's a mindset that I cannot address right now. Maybe at some point I will talk about it. However, they come and say that, and the only two people who believed that God would give them the land because God had promised was Joshua and Caleb. Now, that first lot of people, the children of Israel, they are the same one who had watched God part the Red Sea. But they couldn't believe that God would actually help them through, God would help them to get into Canaan. And because of that, many of them died in the wilderness. Fear. So faith in God tramples fear. You have to have faith in God. Fear will make you retreat. Fear will cause you not to overcome. Fear will cause you not to succeed. Fear will cause you not to even get married. Fear because of maybe the things that you have been through. Fear of relationships. There are people who are afraid of relationships. There are people who are afraid of certain careers because they don't think they can be able to make it in such careers. There are people who are afraid of being parents. I remember talking to somebody several years ago, said, I am not getting children. They were afraid because of what they had been through in their own childhood. There are people who just have a fear. And everybody in this world has to deal with fear. Fear of something. Fear, will I make it? Fear, will that... In fact, let me tell you, when I wrote my first book, I was so excited because let me tell you, every author thinks they have the best book ever written by man. Every one of them. I've never gotten to an author who says, "Oh, my book is so bad." I mean, they just don't exist. If an author says that, I don't know why they wrote. But all of us think we've written the best piece ever. And so when I wrote my first book, I had so many challenges, so many obstacles, to a point, even though I've written 2 books after that, I have never done book launches, just because to me the first book was a failure as a book launch. And now I'm just being honest here. I've never really done them. Now, have I thought about it here? Have I been afraid I'll call people to come and there'll be no people coming for the event? Yes. Am I thinking all that money that I will spend and I'll get it back? Yeah, because of what I went through the first time round with my first book. Are my books good? Yes. I don't write my books by myself. God, literally, I ask him, how do I write this? So he's given me the material. There's no book I have ever written. So I know my books are good. The books, because they've been given to me by God. But have I been afraid of being out here, being disappointed? Absolutely. So yeah, so all of us deal with that. So even as I'm talking, I'm also talking to myself, guys. So anyway, so he's looking at the Jordan. God has said they're going to cross it. They're going to go over to the other side. It is overflowing its banks. And Joshua, that's not even in his mind. He's like, these are the instructions God gave. And God is going to come through for them. So faith over fear. When you have fear, you are going to I'm telling you, you are going to step back. You are even something that would have been probably be the thing that would have helped you go through certain doors or go through certain places, meet certain people. But because you're afraid of being disappointed, you're afraid of being insulted, you're afraid of being let down, you're afraid. You don't trust God to do what he does. And as I said, all of us have to struggle with this at some point and get to the place of, you know what? I will do according to the directions God gives me and leave the rest to him. So yeah. And talking about author, probably why I haven't even gotten my 4th book out, not because I don't believe that God will help me write it. That's not even the issue. But I'm like, God, am I wasting my time actually writing? Because I know how this has gone. I know this, but in essence, I will get to do it at least this year, and I will get to do it. But it's the overcoming the fear, or even overcoming the fear of failure. That's it. The fear of failure, as in, or even feeling like, for what reason? So those are the things we have to work out. And our faith in God, Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your paths. So I'm living for you this today. Trust in God, have faith in God. Fear will make you retreat. Faith will make you go ahead and do what you need to do. Yeah. All right. I hope this has helped you. I really do. And as I said, I've also given myself as an example, because something I'm also having to struggle with and having to deal with when it comes to especially the side of being an author. I think I've overcome some of the ministry stuff, but the author side, because of just past experiences, has made me kind of freeze. But I'll unfreeze this year. Unfreeze, if there's a word like that. Okay, may God bless you. And until next time, this has been Martha Masharia saying bye for now.